Good evening and welcome to Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz Entertainment. My name is Tahir Qureshi. I'm a fellow of Rose Issue of Canada, broker rec for City Pro Realty Inc. brokerage. Today we're going to talk about bridging the housing affordability gap. What are the consequences that cause us this gap? And how we can resolve it. And we're going to explore those options. As you know, since pandemic came, in 2021, our sale went up crazy. Price of the housing went almost 18%. In 2022, Bank of Canada started raising interest rate, and people who were buying property on a variable mortgage, which is a preferred choice, start affecting them. And it become more difficult to manage the finances. Lots of people lost their job, cost of goods, food, transportation, everything went up. And it created a lot of trouble with managing the budget of a family to look after the expenses. And because of rapid increase in prices in 2021, even though prices has declined in 2023 as compared to 2022, but they are gone beyond the reach of common home buyers or first-time home buyer have a difficulty. Our interest rate went 5%, benchmark, and mortgage financing was 7%, 7% plus, which make it very difficult for someone to manage it, their mortgage payment. That resulted in lots of people putting the property in the market. According to Trap Market Watch, active listing last in April was almost 74%. Active listing in Market Watch shown now is 83% from April to May compared to 23, 24. So really, what is the challenge? We always complain about the shortage of housing. Federal government, we demanded that they will create laws to control. They did the control on foreign buyers, and now that embargo is until 27, especially smaller, up to 6 units. Ontario government put together a non-resident speculation tax up to 25%. That restricted foreigner people to buy it, even though foreigner buying was less than 5% across Canada. Shorting housing was always complained. Politically, federal government accuses Ontario government accuses the federal government not giving funds, municipalities cry for the funds, shortage of staff. So Ontario government gave them plan to build 1.5 million house in 10 years. And they allocate a lot of funds. They are helping municipalities to do that. The biggest challenge always is that shortage of housing. Our demand has increased. We always have 50,000 housing shortage before pandemic. In 2020 and 21, the demand went high because supply was down, construction was stopped, because of the pandemic. So it multiplies. Plus we have 500,000 immigrants coming in every year. So where they will be going? Shorting housing will always be a problem, and they have to resolve that short housing. So now we're going to talk about the market watch for May that I'll share with you. What are the challenges? How people will buy? There are lots of articles about the buying, and our next generation, our youth, they cannot buy a house. They don't have a down payment. How are they going to buy a house? Because in average, we're going to talk about the average pricing. If condo 1 bedroom in Toronto is almost 800,000, 750 to 800,000, and similarly 700,000 in Mississauga or other areas, they need money, and based on the interest payment, their mortgage is double, triple. I used to have a 1.69% mortgage. Now if I go in the market, it will be at least 5.2, 5.5. So you can see double, triple. That means if you pay 2,000 now, you'll be paying 6,000. And that is the real problem, affordability. How we can solve this problem? If we are able, and there are options, more housing is available. Right now there is a big inventory. People have bought houses wrong timing, or they caught into this economic cycle and they are selling it because they can afford it. I was approached by somebody yesterday. They listed with somebody and they didn't tell me, so when I find out this property is the MLS, so I told her that I cannot interfere. And she has bought another property, then that other property will be coming for closing soon. So, and this property is already in the market for 2 months. So if you're not able to sell it and you already have commitment for the other one, you got a problem. And the purchase value versus what is expected will be less. So she may not have equity. And this is where is very, very important. When you're buying and selling a property, do you have enough equity in the house before you upgrade or before you plan to acquire other property? As you know, the taxes on capital gain has increased also. It used to be profit over all expenses, split 50 and added. Now there is a different threshold. If you up to 250,000 is 50%, then it goes to about 67% of the balance of the amount. So the government is taking more money from you. So the government, the Ontario, federal and municipal, all have to think about there are a number of people, citizens, who have to pay multiple taxes on their income, and they also have to pay property taxes. Anything they buy, 13% HST, all the taxes. So how much you can suck the blood out of them by increasing burden, financial burden on them. The government has to create revenue, generate revenue through investment, so they have a good return on investment, so they can reinvest, and not to invest on the projects that will not create or generate revenue. Not only pay the loan, but also create income that can be reinvested on the project. Because and by those investment will also create job opportunities. Give incentive to the private sector because they are the one who are engine of the economy. They invest, they hire, and they generate income. If we have slowed down economy because of inflation, who is hurting? People, citizen. And they don't have a job, they don't have any income. How are they going to afford a home? And you are creating a hopelessness in the society. People will be leaning toward going to the renting the property. Renting is also becoming expensive. You're taking away the pride of home ownership by implementing and introducing programs or not managing financially in a way it is more cost effective. Canada is full of talented people all over the world. We can generate income. We can reinvest our technology, innovation, and development. Only thing we need is tool. Development charges are increasing. For God's sake, if cost of building a home is going up and you're increasing more development charges, who is going to bear the burden? Is the consumer. So if you are not creating that environment where the more income is generated and there is a pulse of the nation is uplifting, you need to uplift them so that our economy will uplift everybody. And then by creating more and more housing, it creates affordability challenge reduced because there are more housing available. Now people, the condominium are going down, whereas some housing is surging in certain area. But where people will get the down payment unless you have a house that you sell and you move or upgrade. There's a tremendous opportunity now, and this is why we're talking today about bridging the housing affordability gap. How we do that? Create more housing, reduce development charges, expedite the approval process with the city hall. When a developer or builder goes to them, ask for rezoning, subdivision approval, site plan approval, building permit, expedite the process. And the government create incentive to the builders so they have resources to reduce their development charges. It creates a lot of burden because cash flow is a problem. I am a licensed builder. Dixon Construction Inc. Is licensed by ICRA to build, design and build custom homes and obviously building. So I am thinking about certain things, how I can help to be a part of building custom homes or pick up a project, develop something, looking for investors, working with people. But when you see cost of going through site plan approval or rezoning or committee of adjustment, getting a building permit with the abundance of development charges, it really hurts. And that's why, and that cost is passed on to the consumer. So why don't we have a centralized system where the power is given to federal government to regulate the housing affordability issue? If province cannot handle it, or provide some kind of agreement between the federal government, Ontario government and other provinces and the municipalities to charge less money, optimize. We have so much, system which is afford to have this system, bureaucratic system, that costs too much money to manage it. It should be modernized electronically and expedite the approval process so we can have more housing and also to afford that. We're going to continue our conversation on bridging the housing affordability gap after the short break. Well, I think its break is not there at the moment, so we're going to continue our conversation. So, and this is why I'm going to talk to you about this report about TRAB, that what happened here, and then we have a report on this, and housing. So we're going to talk about these things because it's very important for all of us. So look at this. Our sale went down. This is a TRAB, Toronto Regional Real Estate Board Market Watch for May 23-24 report. Sale went down, minus 21.7%. Sale down, went down. New listing increased by 21.1% as compared to May last year to 24. Active listing increased 83.3%. So we have more listing. It's not an issue of shortage of housing. It's the issue of affordability. How we can increase the affordability to afford a house. If the mortgage rates are high, the Bank of Canada is worried about inflation, but they don't worry about the people who wants to buy a house. They're taking away pride of home ownership. There was a law about pride of home ownership by the federal government. What happened to it? Your affordable listings are going 83.3% active listing. I have never heard that before since I've been in real estate almost 20 years. And our average price went down minus 2.5, 1.195, 409 in 23 to 1,165,691. So we are minus as compared to May last year. Now, a list day on the market, 35.7% more time, and also property day on the market, 40% is gone up, taking longer to sell. Average price in 416 of a detached home is 1,826,370 in Toronto, 416. And 905 is 1,392,699. Semi-detached, 1,416,496 in Toronto, 416, and 979,394. So it has come down very significantly. Townhouse is 1,044,874. It has come down to 919,286 in 905. And condo, average price 767,064 in GTA 416 and 657,925 in 905 area. These are average prices, so don't take it wrong. You need to consult with a real estate professional who will check out for you. Now, unfortunately, we cannot provide no feedback to you unless you are a client, because TRASA restrict us to provide opinion, guidance, any advice or service is prohibited unless you are engaged with a brokerage, as a broker representation or designated representative for buyer or seller. This is, or you are a self-represented party. So you have to rely on yourself unless you engage. When you are working with this such a critical time, a lot of regulatory changes, the market conditions, prices are up and down, you need to hire a real estate professional to help you so you don't make any mistake. So year over a change, we're going to talk about that. Our sale minus 19.4% for detached home. I'm talking about 416 and 905 area. Semi-detached minus 21.3%. Townhome minus 24.3%. And condo minus 24.1%. So that tells you how desperate people are now who have bought short-term home mortgage. Short mortgage is not a long-term strategy. When you have an economic cycle, it takes almost 24 to 36, 48 months to clear through the cycle of turbulence. So you never do a short-term planning, you always do long-term planning and do it before time. And it's also very, very important for you to remain engaged with realtors and also to know what's going on in the marketplace. Go to Bank of Canada, OFC rules, because that deals with the setting up the principle how the stress test came in the picture. I think it's time to get rid of stress tests. OFC rules are destroying the dream of home ownership, creating more hopelessness. Eliminate, reduce interest rate, you will see optimism in real estate market. So two things. Third thing is to centralize the approval process for builders across Canada. There should be one window in each province. People call in, send him information, let them deal with it internally. Everything is tracked through registration. So when application goes in, they know how long. Not only that you have received approval and building permit, also government should go after those builders who get the building permit and don't execute it, don't work it, especially subdivision, buildings, apartments. Because you went through the process, you got the building permit and you don't execute it because the economic situation would happen. Those big builders have big pockets. And obviously we have so many failure, defaults on closing deals because of pandemic, because our interest went up so fast. Inflation was high. Now they need to control the inflation. Look at the debt that is created. Federal government have over trillion debt, maybe 1.3, 1.4 trillion dollar debt. Who's going to pay? Our future generation. What we are leaving for them is hopelessness. They can't afford a home. And this has to change. So not only stress, solution is remove the stress test. You will see a lot of people will qualify for more. Reduce the interest rate. Interest rate should not be more than 3.5%, 5-year fix. So whatever Bank of Canada has to do it, reduce the interest rate. Number 3, create a window where a builder can apply for the site plan or subdivision or for the building permit, one window, and let that window coordinate with the municipalities to expedite the approval process. Not only approval process is monitored and a builder permit is issued, also strictly follow to make sure the builder who got the permit has started the construction. That eliminate any need. People will, when there were more housing available like you are now, people will buy it. People cannot buy it because of affordability. How to bridge the gap? To do two things as a minimum. Eliminate the stress test and increase the interest rate. So 5-year fix should not go more than 3 or 3.5%, 5-year fix, 25-year amortization. So that will create, even though it will be a little bit more than what normally people do, but it will create a little bit optimism for people to buy the property. That is the only way bridging the housing affordability gap and also create more employment opportunity. Also, you need to reduce the development charges, because when developments are happening, it generates income, it generates employment opportunity, government get more taxes. So why not? Why to stop and block the process that generate more income for you? And this is very important, that Government of Canada think about a common person, a dream of having their own home, and federal government has created a pride of home ownership. There is a law. They want to create a pride of more ownership, but this is disappearing. So that means not only that you have done the legislation, but also make effort to implement, create more support, financial support to implement that. Work with your Ontario government and municipalities to make sure it's effective. Like Ontario government is building 1.5 million houses in 10 years. So that means they need resources. Release those properties that are not good for other building or office, convert them into the housing, and then people will start buying. Create more job opportunity. They need to generate income or maintain income to afford a housing. Gap is because you have increased the interest rate and your stress test is killing everybody's dream of having their home ownership. I hope this was good enough for you. If you have any comments, please call 647-484-0018 or go to my YouTube channel, Realty Coffee Talk, and provide your feedback. Our goal is to increase awareness, building consumer confidence, and promoting good ethics and professional practices, ethical practices, so you are well educated. You have any questions, give me a call. My direct number is 416-451-3489. Also, my office number is 905-785-9923. I look forward to hear you, and I thank you for watching Realty Coffee Talk. Next episode will be aired on next Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Awaz Entertainment in Canada, around the world. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye for now. May God bless you all. May God bless Canada. Bye for now.